what a big night of boxing it was down in Bournemouth. Big story as well. Chris Billam-Smith, the WBO Cruiserweight champion now after his victory over Lawrence Okolie, and what was a rather, let's just say, intriguing fight. And the great news is that Chris Billam-Smith joins us on the line now. A very good afternoon to you, Chris.
Afternoon, gents.
Congratulations. Well done. You are the WBO Cruiserweight champion. To do it at the Vitality Stadium as well, in your hometown, you must be absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't get better than that for me. Obviously, the night as well, the fans, everything about it, the weather held out. Yeah, you know, Spencer got a nice tan as well down there, so he's happy.
He did.
Simon
got a nice lolly.
I certainly did, Chris. The weather was phenomenal down there, and as was the show as well, mate. That Vitality Stadium, 15,000 people packed out. The atmosphere was insane. And you felt at times in that fight, Chris, you know, the crowd there that was so massively supportive of you helped you through some tough times, because it was a tricky fight, wasn't it? You know, after 3 rounds, Okolie looked like he was getting into the rhythm, but then the 4th round was the turnaround point when you caught him with that big shot, put him down, and then you took over. You started getting into your own.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that was the game plan. Lawrence is a dangerous fighter. You know, he did catch me early on as well. But that was the plan. That was always the plan, to get through 3 or 4 rounds, and then we'll start finding the shots, and Lawrence will start making a few mistakes. And that's exactly what happened. You know, he made a mistake, and I capitalised on it in that 4th round.
I mean, his main strengths, Lawrence Okolie, is his awkwardness. You know, he's very big for the weight. He's very awkward. He's not particularly pleasing on the eye, but very effective. You two were gym mates who had sparred over 300 rounds together. Did you feel... Did that sparring help you in that contest, or was it more awkward than you thought it was going to be?
No, absolutely. That's what I think why I was able to stay calm throughout the fight, was because of that experience. All those rounds, obviously having a coach who knows him so well, in Shane, and Shane can stay calm throughout as well. You know, we were very confident going in, and it was I think the calmness was probably our best attribute on the night.
When we spoke on, I think it was Monday, we asked you the question, did you think that Lawrence Okolie should have been disqualified earlier in the fight? And you said yes.
Yes, I thought he was veering into the territory of getting himself into a situation where he could be disqualified, and I wouldn't have been surprised if the referee had done that. I wanted to ask Chris, I heard you the other day, Chris, and well done, congratulations, well deserved, mate. I think everyone was really proud of you, mate, including all the people that were neutral. Myself and Spencer actually picked you to win this fight.
We did. And
a lot of that was based upon what Shane McGuigan told us and how confident he was. But I heard you talk about the first 3 rounds, and everyone would have expected you to perhaps try to get into the fight earlier than the first 3 rounds and stamp yourself upon Lawrence, because he was very calm, Lawrence, when he came, very loose. But what was the thinking behind sort of taking a wait-and-see look and then getting yourself into gear after 3 rounds? Because I heard you say it on Sky the other day, and I didn't quite understand why that was a strategy.
Well, you know, he's very dangerous early on, so it's about staying as safe as possible early on. And Lawrence always starts quick, and then he tires through the fight. So then he starts making mistakes once he gets tired, and he started making those as early as the 4th round, 5th round in the David Light fight. So we knew he would, and we knew we'd get to him, to be honest. Maybe not land that shot in the 4th round, but that was a shot we were working on the whole camp, both in the gym, but also in my S&C stuff, the working those muscle groups to coil up and unload the left hook. And I think maybe I went a bit too trigger happy with it throughout the fight, because once I found it. But yeah, basically the game plan was to stay safe, take a few rounds out of Lawrence, let him sort of unload but stay calm and relax on the inside, let him waste the energy there. And that's exactly what he did. And then, you know, obviously throughout the fight, he got more and more tired. The second knockdown I think shows that, because I don't believe that was a knockdown. But he was very tired in there, and to drop to your knees in a fight as early as what did I say early? Sorry, that was the 10th round, though. But in the 10th round and like that, then I think that shows the tiredness. And yeah, that was obviously the key.
I mean, Chris, there was 3 knockdowns in that contest, but what I want to talk to you about was the public warnings, the 2 public warnings there. And I personally think that he was very fortunate, Lawrence Okolie, to not get thrown out of that contest. I've seen many refs not withstand the way that he was. I think that Marcus McDonald was very lenient towards him. Do you feel that he should have been slung out?
No, I mean, I've heard different views on it. I think they can warn them throughout. It's not like a 3 and you're out sort of rule. I don't believe.
But it was constant holding though, Chris, wasn't it? I mean, you'd done well not to get frustrated. You kept your composure, but I mean, he was constantly holding or falling over, and it gets to a point in a contest where the referee goes, you know what, I've had enough, you're out. And I thought he was lenient.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I mean, I'm glad. I would have hated to win like that. That would have killed me. So for him to get chucked, if he got chucked out in rounds 8, 9, or even 10, it would have absolutely broke me. So now I've won in the correct manner. Do you know what I mean? And no one wants to win a world title by disqualification, or any fight for that matter. But imagine that would have just taken the spark off of it. And thankfully he didn't. I thought he did a really good job, Marcus, I think, of controlling it. And he was warning Lawrence early on. Obviously he took a point quite early on. And then, sometimes there was clinches where we're both involved, but there was also sometimes where it was literally just Lawrence was just dipping and not even throwing a punch first. So I think, I understand the frustration. And it's frustrating for me because I watched it back the other day and it's not a pretty fight to watch back. I'd much prefer just to watch the ring walk, to be honest. But,
I was going to ask you that, Chris. I mean, what did you... I mean, some people have made it about how Lawrence Okolie performed. I'd prefer to make it about what you did, because you're the champion of the world now, and all that goes with that. What did you think of your performance? How did you rate your performance?
It wasn't great, to be honest. I mean... like I said in the post-fight interview, I was ill all week, so I didn't have the energy I would have liked to have had and been able to put as much work. I adapted well through the fight, and I think that showed later on with the success I had in rounds 11 especially. But I think it was nowhere near my best, and I couldn't have been. I didn't put on as much weight as I normally would. We were all concerned about that. But yeah, it was... a flat performance from me in terms of what I am capable of. Which
is daunting for any rematch for Lawrence on that basis. What did you make of the scoring? And there's been debates going on. I picked this about... I thought at best it was 8-4, 7-5 to you. Other people like Adam Cattrall are making debates about the argument around the fact that one of the judges scored it as a draw. Yeah. Without drawing you into controversy, because I don't want to... But what do you think of the scoring that was given? Because I think most people that saw that fight thought you won that fight, and the 5 points that were taken away from 3 knockdowns, one of them that you know and I know wasn't really a knockdown, but it was scored as one, and the two penalty points, put you in a situation where you won the fight. Other people are suggesting that it wasn't like that. What do you think of that judge's scoring?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to score. I mean, there's so many different... I think with those rounds, if Lawrence wins the round and then has a point taken off, it's a 9-9 round because you score it normally and then you take the point off. But look, I think, I think 112 is probably harsh.
I thought that was well out, mate. Like 116-17 was the other judge, and 115-108 was the other judge as well.
That's 8-4, 7-5, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that is the reality of where we was at with that. I think the 112 was very harsh on yourself, especially with the knockdowns and the point deductions. There's no way they can come to that score.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.